Hello, my name is Yubraj K C. I'm a research associate here at the Dallas Center. Um, I just finished my master's and then waiting to be get admitted to my PhD program. So yeah, that's me. I'm actually I want to say I'm from Nepal, so I'm an international student here. And today we're gonna talk some lettuce. Okay, I'm hoping you guys are interested in lettuce. So um, everybody has some kind of problem when they try to decide what variety of lettuce to plant. So yeah, with about more than I think 100 different lettuce varieties. It's different. You know. Um, they say a different number and different literatures, but I think it's more than 100. So it's kind of hard to decide what lettuce variety to plant. Mm, okay, and let's see if I can help you out to narrow down that list. I'm pretty sure Dr. Masabni and Megan have like made you an expert in hydroponics by now. So, but I just want to touch the base on this. There are mm, different hydroponic systems people used for lettuce and other leafy greens, but nutrient flame technique and deep water culture they are the most popular ones. Although with nutrient flame technique they have a higher yield, I personally like deep water culture. It's easy, convenient. You don't have to do a lot of work to mm, keep it running. You know, well, in neutral flame technique, you face different problems every time you do it. So yeah, I personally I like deep water culture. Okay, yeah, it's different on different literatures. About how many types of letters there are. Some literatures say it's four, some say it's five, but I'd like to stick with five. Yeah, there are Roman types, butterhead, leaf letters, and then people usually like. Combine summer crisp and crisp head. So, but I like to stick with five different types of letters. And yeah, and as you know, we lettuce is mostly consumed as salad. It's a really good source of vitamin K, vitamin A, and is really good for your hydration. Yeah, well, you might already know lettuce. It's the second most grown vegetable crop in the United States. And it is very popular. And it is pretty mostly grown in open field conditions, traditional farming. And however much we promote hydroponics or indoor control environment, and hydroponics is never gonna take over open field production. Either it's about lettuce or any other vegetable crops. So yeah, right now, even I mean, yeah, it is a hydroponic system. It is getting some popularity, but only about 4 to 5% is grown. Uh, yeah, we're about within the hydroponic system. So yeah, mm, but that even with 4 to 5%, it's a big market. So yeah, I wasn't trying to discourage anyone with the earlier thing saying that yeah, um, uh, our hydroponics is never going to take over, but yeah, it is a big market. So for right now, I think yeah, California is the biggest producer of lettuce. They produce about 73% of lettuce in the United States. It's mostly because of the fact that they are able to produce like marketable lettuce even in this month of summer, during the summer, where other states struggle to do so. Um, yeah, the uh, Popularity in hydroponics lettuce is mainly due to people wanting fresh vegetables, like they can something they don't have to store, like store for that's been stored for a long time. So yeah, that's one of the reasons hydroponic lettuce is being more popular these days. And then there's this advantage of being able to control most of the inputs you put in, like lights, temperature, whatever that makes and that is the reason the yield and is higher in your hydroponic system than conventional farming. One thing I like to mention is, but as you should already know this, I think the water use efficiency is in hydroponic lettuce is really good. So you are saving a lot of water if you plant your lettuce using any kind of hydroponic system. Also, in the United States, Butterhead is the most grown hydroponic lettuce. Yeah, about this again, I'm pretty sure Dr. Masabni and Megan have already talked a lot about different cropping cycle now, but I just want to touch base on this as well. It's the cropping cycle for hydroponic lettuce is in between 6 to 8 weeks. It depends on the temperature and what season are you planting in, because usually on summer you want to harvest uh, quicker than other seasons, so you don't get problems like T-bun. So yeah, it depends on a different season, or how long I mean how big you want your plants to be. The propagation phase, where you sow your seed, and let it germinate, and then wait for it to um, have a couple of leaves, is anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, and then after you transplant, it's anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks for the production phase before you harvest it. Um, okay, yeah, just like any other planting you do, there are a lot of challenges in hydroponic lettuce as well. Yeah, but although we are as compared to outdoor products and open field products, and we can control our temperature, light, humidity and all in hydroponic system, but it's not 100%. So there are some problems related to temperature, and nutrient management. So yeah, another thing is we have another problem you're gonna face is a premature bolting. It's mostly due to high temperature and humidity, and it's this scenario where your stem elongates long instead of usually forming a compact head. So it and then kind of focuses towards forming flowers and then seeds rather than giving you your leafy greens. Um, and T-burn, this is T-bone is the problem. We'll be mostly focusing on this today. Um, this is another physiological problem associated with calcium deficiency, where you get brown spots on the margin of your lips. When you say calcium deficiency, it's not the it's not like your plant or your nutrient solution doesn't have enough calcium. It's mainly because your plants aren't able to take enough calcium due to um, either some temperature issues or transpiration issues. So when you say calcium deficiency, it's not necessarily necessary that your nutrient solution doesn't have enough calcium. Yeah, again about um T-bone, you will see formation of necrotic lesions along the margin of the leaves. That makes it, uh, not so marketable. So it ruins the uh, look of your letters, and then you're not nobody's gonna buy it. The tip-on in letters is cultivar specific, meaning different cultivar letters have different sensitivity to tip-on. Uh, oh, with all the studies we have till now, Roman letters is has shown more sensitivity to tip-on, and then leafy letters they have shown the most tolerance. Um, Yeah, T-bone is a big issue in hydroponic lettuce. Um, Most of the packing companies, they don't accept your entire batch of lettuce if you have more than 5% incidence of T-bone. So yeah, it's really important that you make sure your lettuce per batch doesn't have T-bone, and then yeah, even for your home production, just for you, if you were just trying to grow something just for you to eat, it's way better if you try to manage your T-bone as much as you can. There are some studies done that has um shown some success to limit your T-bone in all the varieties. There's some nutrient solution um, management studies done. I don't want to go. I just want to touch base on this. There are some foliage sprays of calcium suggestions in different studies. Also, the airflow, it does have a big influence on how much a T-bone your lettuce is going to get. Um, if you are using horizontal airflow instead of vertical airflow, you're going to see more T-bone. And another way is to harvest your lettuce earlier. Like, yeah, it does increase I mean, decrease the yield, but since T-bone happens mostly at the end of your harvest period or your production period, if you harvest it a week earlier, it's gonna save you, save you a lot from your plants being affected by T-bone. Also, I wanted to mention this study right here. It is a recent study, and then it is some. They use some unnamed biostimulant. They haven't. I don't think they have named it yet. They're trying to commercialize it, I believe. But I just wanted to mention this study that they did, which has really promising results. So if you want to go look into it, yeah, I think you can access the access is through this link right here. If I'm not wrong. Yeah, but yeah, look up this study. This might like this is a big study in T-bone lettuce. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the study I conducted to for my master's thesis. Basically, what we did was we evaluated 40 different varieties of lettuce for growth, yield, and T-bone, and a hydroponic NFT system. It was conducted in Texas A&M Commerce inside a greenhouse. The greenhouse didn't actually have like all the facilities to control everything. So this experiment was done within a greenhouse that couldn't manipulate temperature and light. So yeah, we just wanted to see how far we could go with the T-bun and then get the results. And this was conducted for four different seasons. Winter, spring, summer, and fall of 2022. Um, Here's a list of latest varieties that we used for this study. As you can see, there's different types. There's romaine, butterhead, bib, leafy, and then summer cryptonal. Um, so just like we talked earlier, what we did was um, you know, the we sowed our seeds in those rock wall propagation cubes, kept it inside a greenhouse, kept it moist using just tap water till uh, germination, and then after it started showing some radicals, started to apply 100 ppm nitrogen nutrient solution. I think yeah, that's a picture of the new nutrient solution we used while during the propagation phase. Um, uh, After about I would say 18 days in average, the latest plants they had at least 2 to 3 like true leaves, and then they had really good roots. So we transplanted it to our NFT system. We had six NFT systems with 10 channels each, and then two of those two NFT system was used to make a blog so we could have reputations. I don't want to go into a lot into how the experiment setup was, but I want to mention that we used the nutrient solution that was based on the recipe provided by Hot Americas. Yeah, this one right here is the recipe for leafy greens in your hydroponic system. But yeah, there are different recipes you can get. Even if you look online, there will be at least 5, 6 different recipes they suggest. So Hogland is a really good one to follow for any kinds of flavors. A Hogland recipe for leafy greens. Um, that is good. Mm, also, yeah, the uh, pH the suggested pH for lettuce for hydroponic production is anywhere in between 5.5 to 6.5. So we try to maintain the pH as much as we could to 6.0, and then the average EC was 1.79. We could have we s- now we come to realize we should have tried to maintain it closer to 1.5, but it didn't harm the latest a lot. But it's the 1.79, and I think it's a little high. Okay, so when our latest plans were mature enough, we started doing our assessment for T-bun. What we did was we visually analyzed these plans one by one, and then rated these plans for T-bun according to this USDA rating scale you have. The rating went from 0 to 3, meaning we rated it planned a 0 if it didn't have any T-bun, and then 3 if it had widest T-bun. Also, one plant from each of the block we had in our experiment was used to measure a fresh weight, leaf area, leaf number, and dry weight. We also did use 4 different plants from each block to measure another fresh weight and number of leaves, so we could get a, a repetitive average. You just uh, yeah, this analysis, but I don't want to go into details. Just we use SAS and NOVA to analyze our results. This table looks complicated, I know. I just wanted to show you how we know what um, trait is influenced by either variety cycle or whatever. Let's see, yield. If you look under yield, percentage ESS, you will see uh, numbers like 31% on cycle. That means yield was influenced by cycle. Like 31% of yield was influenced by cycle, whereas 37% was influenced by variety. Meaning variety had a greater influence on how much you get on each letters. Except I think except for except for number of leaves, all these other traits, how much T-bun you have, your T-bun score, leaf area, they all were like mostly, you know, influenced by what variety of letters you have. Okay, yeah, winter yield. Uh, we did have 40 different varieties of letters, but the bar. I didn't want to show you the graph for all 40 varieties on this graph, so I just put down five top ones, and then the five like top performing ones, and then the five with the low yield. The average yield in this cycle was 2.93. That's in kilograms per meter square. It might confuse some, but so if you again multiply this number 2.93 by 40 times, it's gonna give you, what, something around 50. No, 80, 90, at least 90. I'm sorry, my math is bad. Yeah, 90. That is the grams of lettuce you would see. Like average was 90 grams in winter cycle, meaning Roman salaries here it's 4.2 times 40, about 106. No, yeah, 40 times. Yeah, 160 grams. Um, the lowest yield was seen in Oak Cliff Oscar um, during this cycle. Yeah, spring yield. Yeah, this is one of the season when you have a higher yield of lettuce. Um, again, the average was 5.84, which is I think the highest. Yeah, it is the highest among all the seasons. Mm, The yield was highest in Cultivar Tropicana and then lowest in Roman Trugus. Summer cycle. Again, Roman Dragoon had the lowest yield in the cycle, and then Greenleaf Green Star had the highest yield. This yield of Greenleaf Green Star of 10.44 is the highest of all cultivars, like in all four seasons. The average was 4.08 during summer cycle. Fall yield, Tropicana highest, Summer Crisp, Nevada lowest, average was 3.85. Now let's talk T-bun. I tried to include all 40. I think, yeah, you can see all 40 varieties, graphs for all 40 varieties. You just can't see the name, so that's not important. But yeah, during the winter cycle, cultivar Little Jane, it had the highest T-bun of with the rating of 1.34. Um, oh, this rating 1.34. It doesn't mean that they didn't. It didn't. It doesn't mean that cultivar Little Jane had didn't have any plants with like 3 rating, but the average was 1.34 for this cultivar. And then there are some cultivars which did not show any T-burn in during this cycle, including you can see Monte Carlo, Nancy, Skypos, Alexandria, Ruby Sky. They did not have any T-burn at all during the winter cycle. Okay, spring cycle, the T-bone was more prominent than the winter cycle. The highest was 2.67 for flashy troutback and little Jame. Um, there are some other cultivars which did not have any T-bone at all, including cultivar Rex, Alexandria, Casey, Bergham's Green, New Red Fire, Oscar Day, and Roxy. As you might expect, T-bone was most prominent during the summer cycle. It's obviously due to the high Texas temperature, and this is the only season where you see the rating of 3 for T-bone, meaning all plants of this cultivar had a T-bone um, rating of 3. And then I think about 37 out of 40 cultivars, 37 out of 40 cultivars were affected by T-burn at least to some extent. The only cultivar with no T-burn was Bargham's Green, Oscar Day, and Roxy. Again, fall T-bone. There are some cultivars that did not have any T-bone at all. I think 15 cultivars did not show any sign of T-bone during the cycle, and there were some uh, cultivars with a higher incidence of T-bone, in like cultivar Dragoon, Trucus, and Little James. They were rated 2, and during the fall cycle, Ruby Sky was the only leafy variety that showed some extent of T-bone. Otherwise, except for Ruby Sky, we did not see any T-bone for leafy type lettuce. Same thing with Butterhead types. Only Buttercrunch had T-bone. So Buttercrunch and Ruby and leafy types are great varieties if you don't want T-bone. Again, like I mentioned earlier, if your production systems, if you are producing commercially, your packaging companies, they won't accept your um, uh, latest if it has like more than 5% T-bone. Um, we're gonna go through some of the uh, status in here. During the winter cycle, about 17, about almost about more than almost about 30 varieties had T-bone less than more than 5%, meaning they wouldn't be accepted in a commercialized production. Um, there were some of the varieties that did so less than 5% T-bone, which are Monte Carlo, Nancy, Sky Pose, Alexandria, Casey, Bergham's Green, and New Red Fire, and also Ruby Sky. Um, As you can see here, during this spring cycle, 100% of the plants of these three cultivars were affected by tip burn. Flashy troutback, little jabe, and rosin. Yeah, and we do have some varieties that didn't have any tip burn, like Oscar Day and Roxy Burgum's Green. Uh, yeah. Oh, as you might expect, like earlier I said,
A
summer
little,
cycle,
yeah.
it's
When it's blooming,
it's
it's more
it's really
strong.
bad.
Maybe you can go check the fresh
About
one.
15 cultivars had like all of its plants
Mm-hmm.
affected by T-burn. The only cultivars without T-burn in this cycle is Burgum's Green, Oscar Day, and Roxy. For the fall cycle, there were I think four different varieties. Yeah, four varieties that had all of its plants affected by T-burn. But again, there were about 15 that did not show any sign of T-burn at all. Um, we did also get a leaf area for all the latest cultivars. Um, I think I mentioned the highest and lowest in each season. So Nancy, during the winter cycle, Nancy had the highest leaf area, and then Roseanne had the lowest. Um, Similarly, in spring, Tropicana had the highest. Little Jim had the lowest. Yeah. At least, yeah. Little Jim had the highest leaf area in all the cycle except for the winter. Uh, uh, this is I'm just trying to say that all the factors including environment, your genotype, and the interaction between your genotype of the variety and then the season of your planting had different level of effect on the traits that we evaluated. But yeah, variety meaning the genotype of the cultivar had the played the largest part in bringing this variation in T1. Okay, so yeah, it is important to uh, grow a lettuce cultivar that will give you better yield and then with no tip burn, trying to avoid tip burn. So this right here is a list of um, lettuce cultivar for each season. What we did is from our results, what we did is chose the highest chose one of the highest performing, I mean, yield wise, the highest performing latest cultivar, and then made sure they don't have any T-bone during that season. So for winter, it's um, the recommended cultivar is Butterhead Nancy and Butterhead Alexandria. For the spring cycle, green leaf Burgundy Grims, and then red leaf New Red Fire would be great yield wise and then T-bone wise. For the summer cycle, green leaf Burgundy Greens again, sorry, and then also green leaf Green Star. You will see a lot of leafy type in this recommendation because for one, leafy type lettuce they don't sow any T-bone. I mean they sow some, but not like other varieties. Mm, and then yeah, they do have a higher yield as well. But as I've come to find out, people don't like leafy lettuce, so they prefer either Roman or Butterhead. So here's a list of either Roman or Butterhead types that we suggest to plant during each season. For winter, Coastal Star if you want a Roman type, and Nancy if you want Butterhead. yeah, you can go through this list and then um, plan accordingly if you want a Roman type or a Barahay type. Yeah, and that's it. Um, but this, yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, this experiment was done in Texas A&M Commerce. And thank you.